Hi, Alexia.
Hello.
Good to see you. You booked in for a holistic scalp check and treatment today, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm just getting used to your hair, just sort of feeling the initial texture. The way that I like to take care of scalp health is really by focusing on not only the scalp itself, but the base of the follicles, the consistency of the hair, and anything that might seem just a little bit off or not ideal, as well as focusing on things like temperature and sensation and comfort of the scalp. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So again, just getting to know the hair, just checking. It's very thick, which you did warn me about over the appointment scheduling, but that's great because that means it's nice and healthy. I'm going to ask you some scalp care questions while I do this. So, do you use any heat on your hair? This includes a blow dryer, straightener?
Very rarely.
Rarely, okay.
I might blow my hair out like every other month, but it's a lot and I don't have the energy to do it frequently.
That's fair enough. So, what does your typical hair care routine look like?
I wash it every like 4 to 6 days, depending.
Okay.
And then like once a month, I'll do a clarifying shampoo and like leave-in conditioner situation, and that's about it. I usually let it air dry.
Air dry, and this is just naturally how it air dries.
Mm-hmm.
Well, aren't you lucky? No, that's great. Honestly, the hair looks really strong and healthy. The ends are consistent. They're not splitting. The color is nice and strong. Is this natural? Sort of the redness is natural, or was that a...
Most of it, like the top half is, and then there's some growing out of like old dye and such.
Okay, yeah, I'm seeing a little bit of that coloration. Looking at the front, looks like you don't really have bangs, but there is some variation. Has these grown out a little bit? Okay.
In the process of...
That's fine. The only reason I note that is if you're using heat on them. So sometimes if you have the frontal bangs, you're definitely blowing them out or straightening them in some way to make them work, but just these kind of side ones are okay. Just keep the eyes closed for me. I've got a light out. I don't want to blind you. Okay. I'll look into the scalp with the light in just a bit, but I just want to see how the hair is falling. So this is showing me consistent weight. Try the bottom half. So we have quite a lot of thickness is actually on the top half, which is great. We don't have inconsistency there where the top is thinning. So the part isn't quite central, so I'll just keep that in mind when I'm looking for the length. Do you mind if I make a center part for you right here? I just want to see if one side is growing more than the other. Tracing down the midline in the back so that it's perfectly in line. even hair growth side to side. When was the last time you had a trim?
November.
Okay, so it's been quite some time, about 6 months. And it's still looking healthy, which is great. Okay. I'm going to find your original part because I do want to focus on what feels natural, since that's where you're going to get the most sun exposure on that part of the scalp. Definitely want to check there. Does this feel about right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you'll just see me, or feel me rather, moving my way down the scalp with my separating tool, and I'll be looking for the light at the integrity of the scalp. I'm actually going to use something just a little softer because I already see just a little bit of irritation and dryness, and I don't want to make that worse with a harder tool. I'm not seeing much sun damage, so either you're wearing hats or not getting that much sun, but there's not that kind of usual color differentiation that I can sometimes see the part. I'm seeing a little bit of redness and irritation at the roots. That is not surprising based on the thickness of your hair. Hair is heavy and it does weigh down on our scalp. If anything bothers you during this, don't hesitate to let me know. I'm also looking for any freckles or moles that might be underneath the surface that are very, very hard to see due to the thickness of your hair. It's a double-edged sword because the thickness of your hair makes it hard to keep track of these little points, but it also keeps our head very protected from the sun, so that's good. So the dryness of the scalp is pretty centralized to the top of the head. I'm not really seeing it on the sides here. I do have a couple of protruding nevi right at the base of the hairline, but they're not inside the hairline. Have you had those looked at by a dermatologist?
I am not.
Okay. I'll take a quick look. We'll finish the hair first. Not seeing any bruising of the scalp. Same thing, the dryness isn't as bad over here as it is on the top of the head. I'm going to guess based on the time of year that that could be due to some wind exposure and cold exposure. And you have another right there that we'll look at. Particularly look behind the ears as well. And there's no excess hair growth either behind the ears, just normal baby hairs. Take a quick look at these nevi. So this one is about 2 millimeters, symmetrical, protruding, consistent in color. Not too worried about that one. Let's take a look at these. I'm going to recommend that you do go to dermatologist for that bottom one, since it is slightly asymmetrical and there is a slight change in color. It's probably fine, but you just want to be sure. Okay, let's measure the hair before we start messing around with it. I'll take this piece right at the top of the head, and just look like you have some layers in, but this just helps us track growth over time. So 22 inches, almost 2 feet at your longest point. So that's quite a bit of hair. That's great. Okay, let's do some temperature checks. Well, first, before I do that, I didn't feel anything or see anything in the scalp, but I'm just gonna feel here. Let me know if there's any pain. And I'm also getting an initial temperature read before I use the thermometer. Any pain here? Okay. So I should feel warmth inside the scalp that dissipates as we get up towards the surface. So it should be less warm like here than it is here. I think it is, but we'll take the temperature just in case. Versus so far seeing normal temperature variations. Okay, I'm just going to get one at the base of the neck. Great. So Lexi, I think I want to treat for a little bit of that tenderness in the, or weakness at the roots of the scalp. Like you have all this hair, it's just kind of pulling on you, and highly do recommend maybe wearing a cap or something when you sleep so you're not rolling around and kind of tugging on the scalp. And I'm also going to do a bit of a dryness treatment with some vitamin C, okay? So I'll start out with the strengthening for the roots, and I'll just be dropping it in with a water dropper and then rubbing it in with a cool tool. So you feel a couple of drops. And a cold pressure point tool. This is a somewhat repetitive and tedious process, but it's important that we really saturate the scalp and make sure we're getting all the places that need it. Let's do over here too. Okay, moving to the other side. So we'll do it at the head in sections. So we'll start with this top section. I'm going to rub it in now somewhat more aggressively with my hands and just in this top section, making sure we've got all of that good holistic product worked into the scalp. It's also really good about promoting blood flow and growth to the follicles, as well as massaging any dirt or oils out of the pores. Let's do the back. And go across. This side of the head is going to get way less pulling because it's lower down and it's not having this entire weight of the hair on it. gonna let the hair rest for just a second so I don't overstimulate the scalp before we do the vitamin C treatment. Give you a slight shoulder massage just to relax you. That's what's so beautiful to me about holistic medicine and work, is that we don't just come in, say, oh, that looks wrong, here's something to treat it by. You know, we really treat the whole experience of being human. And any tension in our shoulders is going to creep up into our neck. It's going to cause you to move your neck back and forth a lot. It's going to cause tugging on the hair, and the cycle continues. The vitamin C. I want to, again, focus that right on the top of the head where there was this dryness. It's not so bad here, and vitamin C is definitely potent, so I don't want to overdo it. So let's do like 6 spots along the top of the scalp. It's a little roller. One freckle on the scalp as well. It's flat, but we'll keep an eye on it. Missed that before. Any burning or tingling with that?
No.
This side. Brushing it through with my fingers, just spreading it out for the affected area. This type of grooming is a very ancient form of recovery, relaxation, even before the Homo sapien and back when we were pre our current genetic makeup. We would groom each other and encourage that healing and rest. Last thing I want to do is put a protector on the entire head, the hair. Alexia, the hair looks like it's in really good shape. There are a couple spots I want you to get checked out by the dermatologist. And I'd like you to, again, try and take some of this weight off the head at night. So if that's keeping it up in a hair cap or a bonnet, or just making sure that, you know, when you're laying on it, you're not doing this or that, right? Just anything that can relieve some of that pressure from the scalp, I think will help. Okay. How are you feeling? Anything remaining bothering you at this time? All right. Well, it was great to meet you, and I'm glad we got to have this session together. Keep me posted on your progress and let me know when you want to come in for a next session.
Thank you.
Thank you.